I think someone who just jams out in their living room, in their shower, in the rain, wherever you can. You always imagine yourself in a dance movie, and then you accidentally end up in one. So, yeah, I'd call myself a dancer. Quinn? I mean, Sabrina, what about you?
Corn? You just call me Corn?
Corn?
I'm actually curious to know who are some of your main inspirations as far as dancing or just performing overall.
You know, my love for dance, so much of that really started with like Michael Bennett and Bob Fosse and Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly. Well, of course, like Michael Jackson, you know, people that managed to figure out how to float.
Yes, to Michael Jackson all the way. His DVD, The Greatest Hits, all of his videos were playing on loop growing up. So like watching Michael Jackson hit that jazz split is why we named jazz, I swear. You can see with like the curly bang and like the like wannabe like shoulder moves. Like I pull so much inspiration from him and his presence on stage as a kid, and then growing up and going through like drill team, dance team in high school. And that's like that hype woman vibe. Like you are in the stands at the football game, living your Friday night lights, and just bringing that emotion to the stage is so fun to be that like hype woman best friend. Also pulled a lot of inspiration from Moose, my boy Adam.
Yes.
Like Moose and Step Up. That moment where the rain is cascading from the sky.
My celebrity crush,
right?
Oh, so cute.
Right. I can visualize that moment where the rain is just coming down on them, and he just comes up. They're just dancing in the street. Everybody's moist, and he just loves
moist. No,
like his curly bangs are flopping around and wet. Like everybody.
Oh my god!
For my character of Quinn, I looked a lot to like Napoleon Dynamite and Little Miss Sunshine. Just like really great performances, just being uncomfortable in your body and not really knowing what it's like to be good or bad and just feeling it.
It's so freeing. You're so out of your head. Sometimes when you're in conversation, you're thinking about what to say next or anticipating. I feel like when you tap into your body, you are just free flowing. You're out of your mind. You're losing your mind. You're losing yourself to the song. Like I think it's just the best, form of expression. At least for me, I feel so free in the middle of a crump circle.
I think like one of my favorite things, also just about the film in general, but I think in life, the joy that dance has brought me is it's brought me so much closer to people and so much closer to like friends and building friendships. Jake's character and Quinn's character couldn't be more polar opposite. The fact that he knows so much and is willing to teach her and she's willing to learn is like a really, really beautiful relationship. So I think dance brings a lot of people together.
I think it's one of the quickest ways to build trust. And there's something about it. I think that like dancers in general are a different species, a different breed of people in general, but there's like a reason why they, by nature, typically are as affectionate as they are and as passionate as they are, is that at their everyday is self-expression and, breaking down walls. And I think that that's the quickest way to like form trust and transparency between 2 people, 3 people, 5 people.
I feel like especially now being a time where we're all separated and, finding ways to find ourselves and connect with our community is so important right now, and leaning into those friendships. They're becoming stronger for me personally in my own life now than ever. And on an even more personal note, my relationship and friendship with Sabrina has become even stronger, I think, throughout this time. But that's why I'm so glad like our relationship in the movie reflects how strong a friendship can turn like your fear of the unknown into faith and into fun. So Sabrina, how does it feel to kind of portray that character on screen with Liza?
I think one of the best things in the movie is that these characters are so supportive of each other's craziness and just crazy ideas and really just have a lot of like trust in the other and are willing to go on the wildest adventures for each other and not expecting like really don't expect a lot from each other other than they know that like they're both going to reach this goal that they want to reach, and they're very hardworking. And I think that that's also something that's really great for young girls to see on screen. But yeah, I mean, I've had a little bit too much time for my friendship with Liza to develop during this quarantine, and FaceTime calls to last way too long. And no, I mean, it's been really special to get to make something with people that you actually like really thoroughly enjoy making. And that's why like the scenes with Quinn and Jazz are very natural because we'd go to sleep at 2 a.m. and we'd be talking about what alts Liza could do the next day that would throw me off, and how to make our director laugh, and things to just like plant to make it a fun, enjoyable experience. And I think you see that on screen, and not even just with Quinn and Jazz, but with our other characters in the TVDs and just everybody. It's a very supportive, community building type of film.
I love Jazz. I fell in love with Jazz. And actually, really weird backstory is that like Jazz, like, you know how Beyonce has Sasha Fierce. I always called myself Sausage Fierce, but my alter ego that I like tapped into, that was like my confidence character, was called Jasmine. So like that was my Sasha Fierce in my own mind. And to be able to play a character named Jazz was such like a full circle moment for me. And I love that Jazz, she really does like, she jazzes up the film a little bit, and she has her own storyline too. Like she has her own love interest too. I love that both characters, Quinn and Jazz, have their love interests and their romantic relationships, and they're both pursuing their dudes, but they also, you know, that love and that chemistry and that friendship is what they're really leaning into. And I love, you know, girls supporting girls and, you know, allowing them to uplift each other instead of pitting them against each other. I think is such an important message and, you know, portrayal of friendship that is so key for your, you know, younger generation to see and uplift each other then. It was amazing to step into her shoes and dance in her shoes every day because she had a little storyline. So it was fun to, you know, portray this best friend. I'm excited to see where she goes in the sequel. And if she, you know, stays at the mattress store and if she ends up buying that mattress after all.
I think that the messaging that I'm really excited about and what drew me to the project in the first place is the fact that it's not just a dance film, it's a film about people, it's a film about evolution, it's a film about life throwing you curveballs and how you navigate those things, and how okay it is for plans that you have in your life to change, and how okay it is to have goals in your life that turn into something else. And maybe a new passion is discovered throughout that process.
You know, looking back on those times, every time without fail, I go, oh, well, this wouldn't have happened if that happened. And it's such a beautiful thing to accept as you get older and start to kind of take that weight off your shoulders when it comes into letting life do its thing, because it's always going to do its thing. And you can be, as Jordan has said this before, like you can be as prepared as you want, but like you just have to trust in the fact that you're on the path that you're meant to be on. And I think Quinn does it in a really beautiful way of like, she is going for this one thing that her entire life she's been working for, and like spoiler alert, like still watch the movie, but she doesn't get the thing that she wants. She gets 5 other beautiful things that she didn't expect to have along the way, and a whole new community of people that she feels embraced and loved by, and a new thing that she didn't know that she could do that she's still working on. And yeah, it's a very exciting theme to have in a movie, especially during a time like this where nothing is going as planned for anybody and we're all just kind of making the most out of it.
Something that I've kind of leaned into is life isn't so much about finding yourself. I think when you look into that and you're trying to look for something, looking for the answers to your questions, finding yourself, where is it? It's about creating yourself. And I've really leaned into that, being a content creator in my own, and you know, writing my own scripts, creating my own content, and executive producing, and having so much fun doing that, that I've found myself in that way by allowing myself to kind of just evolve. And you've seen an evolution of sorts in my career of sorts that I'm honored to call a career, because really I was just this girl in my living room, you know, just screaming at a camera, 5 years ago, and here I am in front of a much more high-def professional camera, not screaming but giving subtle acting. And that's the, you know, I never would have expected to be sitting in this chair, to be starring, you know, across the screen with Jordan Fisher and Sabrina Carpenter and all these amazing, incredible talents that you're going to see in the movie. Like I never would have predicted that this is where I would end up, but I'm so damn happy and so proud to be able to have paved a path of sorts digitally to end up in this traditional space and to show any kid born from the internet like I am, that this is a path that they can take too. But I think it is about, you know, leaning into your evolution. We all have one, and it is about redefining yourself, because the world will throw expectations and definitions on you about who you should be or what you should or shouldn't do. And to crush those and rewrite yourself and reconstruct your own narrative is something you totally have control and you're able to do. And sometimes when life feels out of control like it does right now, leaning into your community, leaning into your friendships, your family, your faith, and finding yourself and rediscovering yourself again. So I hope that, you know, this film brings that, you know, refurbishing of sorts of yourself and of your world around you, and create the world you want to see.